everyone. Happy Tuesday. I forgot I was doing a giveaway, so I'm going to go through real quickly here and just write down everybody's name who commented last week so that we can do a giveaway. So I apologize. I'm going to do that real quick, hopefully real quick. I had a lot of people on last week. Let's see. Hopefully I have enough paper here. I'll be right with you guys. I can't see any comments if you guys are commenting. Let's see, Deb. And I think I got everybody. Holy cow, I had a lot of people on. That's awesome. Let me just make sure. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh, Tina. Okay, I think I got everybody. I did. Okay, back to you guys. Let me see if I can find your comments now. Happy Tuesday, you guys. It's been a day. All right, let's see. And I see no comments. Oh my goodness. Let's do this. Let's do that. That seems to always work. Hi, Tina. Hi, Amy. Hello, Donna. Hello, Diane. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Yay. You guys are all here. I'm super excited. I have a card I'm going to make today. Surprise, surprise. I usually always make cards. But this one, I bought this stamp set a while ago, and I thought it was super cute, and I got playing with it today, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. So hopefully you guys like it too. But before we get down to business, I am going to do a giveaway tonight from last week's live. So I have everybody's name here. Once I flip you guys down, I'm going to put you all into a bin, pull out a name, and then you'll win something from me. Not sure what, but we'll see. I have a whole bag of goodies that I can give away to people. So, but before we get down to business, let's talk about what's happening at Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up is doing saleabration. I know you guys are so sick and tired of me probably telling you about it, but I do get people that actually do watch me once in a while that are new. So to let them know, saleabration, we only have 8 more days or 7 more days. What is today? 7 more days. We only have a week left. Who's sad? I am super sad about that. So we have a week left to get your free products. $50 purchase, $100 purchase will get you free products through Stampin' Up celebration items. So I'm so sad that it's leaving us. And hi, John Boy. Yeah, I'm sure the younger people will not have a clue what you're talking about, Amy. But yes, I always think about that when I'm saying hi to everybody. I wonder if somebody will say hi, John Boy. But the celebration, like I said, it's winding down. There's still everything, I believe. I didn't check the inventory report status, but I believe that everything is still available for you guys to get for free. So get in there, get those items. There has been a clearance refresh, not a refresh, clearance. There has been an update to the clearance rack today. They have added stamps to the clearance rack, which is a rarity. I can't remember the number of times that they've added stamps to clearance. It's only once in a great while. So there are some cute stamps there. Oh yeah, the magic mirror. Wow, we're really showing our age, guys. That was fun. So get over there and check out the clearance rack. There's some cute stamp sets that were from, I think, this spring's catalog. There's some stamp sets in there, so get over there and check them out. They're on clearance. Pretty good prices on them, so no comment. So that was fun. We didn't know anything about that, and that's, as a demonstrator, sometimes we get to know exactly what's going on prior to you guys. Sometimes we find out the information just when you guys find it out. Um, so they never said good morning to me. You guys are funny tonight. So we have that going on. If you guys are not aware of what Saleabration is, you're living under a rock and you have no clue about Stampin' Up. If you guys want more information, just let me know. We also, during Saleabration, we have, you can have a party. You're really running out of time to have a party, but I could whip you up a party in 7 days, and you could have a party. When you have that party, you can earn a free stamp set with a qualifying party. It's the Scenic Garden stamp set. So if you guys are interested in hosting a party, just let me know, like ASAP, because like I said, you are running out of time to host a party. You could even host your own party, and as long as it qualifies, you'll get that free stamp set. And then, of course, the biggest news is joining. So if you joined my team, which I have a small little team, but we're growing and I love it and they're awesome. If you join my team right now before Saleabration expires, which that ends on February 28th, you will get an amazing deal that Stampin' Up! Is offering. You have three options. You have option, I don't know the order that they're in, 1, 2, and 3, but you have a choice of, for $129, you can pick out one of the mini stamp cut and emboss machines. The blue boho machine is so pretty. So you can get that one. You can get the mini white for $129 plus $175 worth of products that you pick out, you put into your starter kit, whatever you want to put in there. And then you get a paper pumpkin box in there. You get business supplies. You get free shipping, all kinds of fun things. You will get me as your upline. You will, you are distracting me, you guys, but I like it. It's funny. I keep looking over to see what your comments are. It wouldn't be interesting if nobody was here talking to me and distracting me. And my hot mess show hasn't started yet, but I'm sure it will. So anyways, what was I saying, guys? Yes, so if you join my team, you'll get me as a team lead. I will be there. I'm available pretty much all the time. I mean, if you message me at like 2 in the morning, I'm probably not going to get back to you until the next morning. But you can message me, you can email me, you can call me, whatever you want to do. And I'm available. And we have a great team page. We do swaps and fun interactive things on there. We have team meetings. So it's a lot of fun. And if you join up now before Saleabration is over with, you have those options with the stamp cut and emboss machine, or you can join for $99 and you will still get $175 worth of stuff for free. Not for free. You'll get $175 worth of stuff for that $99. And you guys, and free shipping, the paper pumpkin, all that fun stuff that I mentioned. You'll get that, plus me, plus our team, which everybody that's on here is on my team except for one person, Lois. She's not on here, but the rest of these girls, Tina, Diane, Amy, Donna, they're the team, and you can see by their comments that they're crazy. So it's a lot of fun with all of us on the team together. So if you guys join, you get all of that. You get me, you get my team, and it's a lot of fun. You get to be part of a huge crafting community. You get perks through Stampin' Up. There's no commitment, so if you joined and you said, I don't know what I was thinking, why did I join? You know, maybe you had a couple glasses too much of wine and you joined my team and you're like, oh crud, why did I do that? Don't worry about it. You don't have to stay on the team. You can just not order and then your demonstratorship will run out. But once you're on the team, you'll find out how much fun it is and all the different perks you get. Like, we're gearing up for hi Mary Alice, welcome, happy Tuesday. We're gearing up for a new catalog, the annual catalog. So we're going to be able to view that at the end of March. and see what's going on with the new catalog. And it won't be live until May 2nd, I believe, for customers, but we'll have access to that a month prior. And in April 1st, we'll be able to order out of the new catalog. So I'm super excited about that. I know the team's all excited about that too. So that's a lot of the different perks we get from being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can just be a hobby demo. You don't have to sell if you don't want to. I sell it. I don't do very well at it, but I sell it. But I have customers and stuff that come. I'm doing a lot better than when I first started, where I had like one person order once a year or something. So now they're sprinkled in throughout. You really have to work hard if you want to make this as a, hi Deb, if you want to make this as a welcome, happy Tuesday business. With anything, you have to work hard at it. So if you want to put the time and effort in and you want to work your butt off, you could really do a good business here. I just like doing what I'm doing. I'm not pushing myself. I am just having fun with it, and I'm meeting, the best part is I'm meeting all these different people that I never would have met before if it wasn't for Stampin' Up! Customers. I'm good friends with a bunch of my customers, so it's a lot of fun. So if you guys were curious, had any questions, wanted to know anything, just let me know. Drop me a line, and I will be more than happy to talk to you about it. It's a lot of fun. Yes, exactly, Deb. It does take a lot of time to get customers. That discount, and I forgot to mention that, that was one of the biggest draws for me to join Stampin' Up! Was for that discount. When you first sign up for Stampin' Up!, you get an automatic 20% discount on all of your orders. And then you do have the potential to go up to 25% off your orders. So that is a lot of fun. So okay, so I think I've spieled my spiel for the night. Let me flip you guys down, and then we're going to do our giveaway. So let me flip you down, and I know you're probably going to be upside down. Let's see. This camera thing has been, there we go, my tripod or whatever it is. Let's see. How are we there? I might have to adjust. Let's see, here we go. All right, there's such a lag here. Let me fix this so we're not upside down. Zoom in, and then I think we are fairly good with that, you guys. I think so. I always want it to be perfect. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so let me just go over here. Yeah, a lot of demos do. They just stay as a demo just to get that discount and get the first-hand knowledge of all the Stampin' Up! Insider stuff. So I have everybody's name here from last week. Who commented on the video. So we're going to do a giveaway. So Tina's going in here, putting them in a little bucket. Diane, I think you guys are all here today except for, well, Roseanne's not on here. Deb, Donna, Amy. Oh, Tracy's not here either. Tracy, Mary Alice, and Roseanne. So you guys are all going in the little bag here, and I'm going to shuffle you guys all around, and then I'm going to pick somebody for a prize. So I don't know who I'm going to pick. Let's see. And the winner is Tina. Congratulations. I will actually put your gift in the bag that I have for you when we get together. It's growing bigger and bigger. I can save on postage. So I'll put your present into your little bag that I have. So congratulations, Tina. Woohoo! Thank you guys for commenting and showing up and always supporting me. So keep an eye out for my next giveaway. I like to do them on the live. It's fun doing them on the live. So let me find my card here. So here's the card we're going to make today. Well, I'm going to show you guys how I made it. This paper is not available yet unless you're a demonstrator, but I wanted to show off the paper. I thought that that paper, the background, was beautiful with this ship here, this pirate ship or whatever it is. So I bought this set a while ago, and I thought about birthday cards. It would make cute birthday cards for kids, but there's some really nice sentiments in here. We can weather this together. You are a treasure. I'd be lost without you. Happy birthday. Hoping this year is full of adventure and excitement. So you get all of these stamps, and then it does have a die set that you can get with it. So I haven't cut the ship out yet. So I just ran out of time as always. I wanted to cut this ship out to see exactly how this went together, because that looks fun, that ship. But you get the outline of this ship you can cut out, get a couple of flags that you can cut out to fly on your ships or this ship. The little skull and crossbones here, so cute, I guess. I don't know, is it cute? It's not really cute. It's kind of cute. It looks cute on the ship. You cut out your stamped image here. You can cut out the clouds. And then these waves are really cool. So I'll show you these. And then, yeah, that's about it in here. So you get all of those dies that you can coordinate with this stamp set. And then over here you've got that fancy. I'm stamping with a lot of this stuff. So you guys will be able to see exactly how it stamps out. So let me show you guys the paper that I'm going to be using. Now this paper will become available for customers as of March 1st. It is called, what is it called? Hello Irresistible. It is called, yes, yeah, Hello Irresistible. I should have checked the comments first. So it's 6 by 6. You get 48 sheets. And it coordinates with Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, which is a brand new color, Petal Pink, well, it's an old color, but it's going to be brand new to us, Pretty Peacock, which is an old color, which will be brand new to us, and then Soft Seafoam. So that's exciting. They kind of gave us some clues that colors that are coming back. So that's fun. But the paper you have here, it coordinates with, and I've shown the stamp set. I don't know where it is. I think I have it. But it coordinates with, hold on, Irresistible Blooms. So this is going to be a new stamp set coming March 1st. These are online exclusives that Stampin' Up! Is offering to us, to customers, in between catalogs. So every other month or every couple of months, you're going to see some online only items. They're not going to be in any kind of catalog, so you want to watch the online website, my shop, chris.stampinup.net. Check that out, and I also will post on my business page when there are some new products out there. So this stamp set, I haven't played with it yet. I'm hoping to soon, but what I really loved about this stamp set was the fonts. I love the little swirly curly things with the fonts. So, but these flowers look like they're going to be really pretty to stamp out with. Oh, Tina, you just got yours today. Isn't that awesome, being able to get stuff ahead of time? Because she's new. She just joined my team a couple weeks ago. She's smart. She took advantage of that amazing deal. So it's kind of cool to be able to go in and order your own stuff. So that's awesome. I can't wait to see what you create with it. And I think most of my team has ordered this stuff, some of it anyways. So the paper here is really pretty. So you can see the different designs in the paper here. I love the colors of the paper. It's very subtle. It's just warm. Very pretty. And then, of course, you have the back side, which those beautiful flowers. Look at that. Love the color choice. I'm a green person anyway, so yeah, Mary Alice, I think you would be so happy with this paper. It's super pretty. You know, I just love it. I love the pinks and the greens together too. So 48 sheets, 6 by 6. I know some people don't like the 6 by 6. Some people love the 6 by 6. I don't really care. I could go with the 12 by 12s or the 6 by 6. I like them either one. So that is the paper I'm using. You could, if you really wanted to make this card right now, you could use By the Bay. There's a pretty piece in there, and that kind of looks like the ocean and, you know, the land and then the sky. So you could use something like this. Of course, you could change your colors up, but this paper's pretty too. So there are some pieces in here that you could use, or you could create your own background. You know, you could take your Stampin' Blends. No. You could take your blending brushes and your inks and you could do a nice kind of background. But I thought that was a nice sea kind of background for, you know, if somebody's on the seas or whatever. So let's go ahead and bring in my paper here. We're going to stamp out the ship first. Now, I tried the... Yes, Diana's a fan of the 6 by 6. She likes the 6 by 6. So I tried stamping the ship out on basic white, and then I tried stamping it out on the shimmery white, the thick. The watercolor paper seemed to work the best as far as getting the look that I wanted. I wanted that washed out look. Watercolor paper seemed to work the best for what I did here. So let me show you guys. Nope, bigger block. So what I'm going to do is, I've already stamped one out, but I want to show you guys how I stamped this. Let me get a scrap piece of paper. I probably should show you guys too on the catalog. I don't even know where it is in the catalog here. Let me show you. Oh boy, what's the name of it again? Where is it? On the bay. On the ocean, I mean, page 70. Usually I have it all tagged out, but... So here it is in our catalog. It's in the mini catalog here. And it is on page 70, so you can see the different things that they've done with it. Here's the ship that they've cut out. Nothing stamped on here. It's all cut out. So it's kind of cool looking cut out. You've got the texture on the ship here. And then here's some stamped images of it. This one's embossed out. That's really cool looking. And so that's that. And then you can save 10% by bundling. So if you guys were interested and wanted to look at that, it's on page 70 in the catalog. So what I did was I took soft suede and I inked up my stamp with the soft suede, and then I stamped it off once, and then I stamped it on my paper. And because it's watercolor paper, I'm going to hold it on there a little bit longer just because I want to make sure that ink transfers down. I don't know why I'm like totally aggressively pressing this as hard as I can where my fingers are turning white. Does anybody else do that? I don't know why I stamp down so hard, but so anyways, let's lift this off. So it's going to be a nice faded look, I guess, because there it is full strength, which full strength is nice, but I wanted that washed out look to it. So let me I'm just wiping off my stamp with my simple chamois. So while I have the ink out. We're going to do some more stamping. In that stamp set, there is this cloud here. So we're going to stamp that out. I'm going to use Pacific Point to stamp that out. And we're going to stamp the cloud out twice. Stamp's so nice. I love the detail in the cloud. So we're going to do that. And then I'm just going to wipe that with my simple chamois. Deb says 6x6 is great because you can make cute little envelopes with the paper without cutting it. She is an envelope person. She's always decorating her envelopes, always doing all kinds of fun things. I never think about the envelope. I don't know. I just am like, I want to stamp and then just mail it in a boring envelope. But she really does awesome with her envelopes. She's so creative when it comes to that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my Pacific Point out because I'm going to stamp out the happy birthday. Where is my smaller? Here we go. So I'm going to just pick this up. I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm just going to stamp out happy birthday because we're going to cut that out. But I've already done that off camera. With the magic of TV, let me just wipe off this stamp. Yeah, that is true, Deb. It's a good way to use up your paper. We're always looking for ways to use up our paper, aren't we? So I have blue Pacific Point ink all over my hand. Let's see if I can wipe that up. I love baby wipes. Keep them in hand in my craft room for spills and stuff like that. So that is all we're going to stamp out on here. So these will be cut out along with our ship. And then I've already cut out the waves. So on this card here, I did this one. I cut out the same die here. I used this die and I cut out one in Parakeet Party. No, Parakeet Party. Is there even a parakeet? Yeah, there's a parakeet. But what am I talking about? Tahitian Tide. Parakeet Party is green. It would be weird to have green water, wouldn't it? I mean, I guess there are areas that have green water. Yuck. Anywho, I cut one out in Balmy Blue and one out in Tahitian Tide using this die here. So this one, I cut the Balmy Blue out with this guy, and then the Tahitian Tide with this die right here, and that cuts that. So if you can line it up, and it lines right up on top of the water to make it really fancy. So I don't know which one I like better. Once we put the card together, I guess I'll figure it out. But that's how I got that. I just did 2 cuts of that one. So these pieces are measured around 2.5, 2 1/4, 3, something like that. What I'm going to do is cut them down to size, but what we're going to do is take our Balmy Blue and our Tahitian Tide. So I wanted to do something with the water to give it a little texture. Let's see. Yeah, right. It would not be a creation if we didn't get inky, right? So it's very hard to see here, but there's a little bit of texture to the water. So what I did was I took this stamp here, and let me see, I'll put it on this block. So I'm going to take my Tahitian Tide, I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp it off the edge here once, and then I'm just going to stamp it on top. I'm going to stamp it off, stamp it on top, stamp it off, stamp it on top. It's very, very subtle, but it gives it enough of water color type effect on there, just to give it some kind of depth. So then I'm going to take and do the same thing with the Balmy Blue. So let me go ahead and put away my Tahitian Tide. I'm going to bring in that piece of Balmy Blue, and I'm going to do the same thing with the Balmy Blue. Off and then on. This one's a little darker, but this one's going to be behind, so I'm not really going to worry about the rest of that. So you guys can see there's a little bit of texture back there. So I thought that was fun, just to kind of make it look like water. Now, I tried looking at online. I tried looking for examples using this set, and there's not a lot of examples out there. I think this set has been passed over by a lot of people, and it has a lot of great potential. It really does. And I'm looking at some of my older stamp sets. This would pair up great with a bunch of my older stamp sets. So don't miss this one, you guys. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these two on top of each other. And I'm just going to use the liquid glue, just because I love the liquid glue. Get a little bit, don't go crazy with it. I'm not squeezing it. It's coming out enough to where I don't have to squeeze it. You don't want to go crazy with the liquid glue. Little bit is more. Less is more. Less is more. Little bit is more. I don't know what I'm saying. So I'm going to glue this to here. So you can see how those waves line right up with each other. Just going to slide this a little so that's another great thing about the liquid glue, is you have enough time to slide it before it hardens down. Where if you use your Stampin' Seal, you've got, once you put it down, you're done. Yeah, a little bit goes a long way. Thank you, Donna. I always get tongue-tied when I'm on here. So we're going to set this aside. And what are we going to do next? We're going to work on the ship next. So here's our ship. I've got my early espresso. So what I'm doing is squeezing the center. If this is too hard, I know some people cannot do this, you can take your block and you can ink up the block and use the ink that way if you want to. Or you can get your little pool of ink. And I'm going to use one of the aqua painters. You get 3 in a pack. You fill them with water. The barrel comes off like this. And you fill these with water. And you twist them back on. And when they're empty with water, you just fill them again. You have 3 different sizes that you will use. Let's see. So you have the tiny tip, which is the one I'm using today. There's the fatter tip, the paintbrush one. So that would be great for a large area. And then here's a medium, the medium tip one. So, and the tips will stain with the ink, but you just run them clear when you're done. So let me show you guys what I did here. What I did was I wanted the bottom of the ship to stand out a little bit more to make it darker. So I'm just going to take, and I'm not squeezing any water, just getting the water out of there. No, I didn't squeeze any. And I'm just going to kind of color in this bottom part of the ship here. And what I'm going to do is just work some of this darker soft suede into my ship here. And like I said, I found that the watercolor paper worked the best. It just gave me the look I was looking for. Now you might go and use your thicker cardstock and you might like the look that you get from that, or you might not. So I'm just going to add the soft suede until I like it. I want it to be different than up here. And up on the top here, I am not going to use any ink. I'm just going to kind of fade in the soft suede. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more here. And the nice thing, or the crazy thing about it is, you know, your cards are all going to be different just depending on how much ink you use, where you use your ink. So, and then I'm going to do a little bit over here, a little bit of shading. I don't know, I just kind of go with what I like. So there's the bottom of the ship. That's what I'm doing there. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I don't know why I'm coloring this one. Let me color this one. This is the one that's already cut out. Okay, so this one's a little darker. As you guys can see, it's a little bit darker. This was on the watercolor paper, but I cut this one out. So we're just going to redo what I just did. No big deal. So you can add as much water as you want. I kind of like the brush a little drier, and it's a little too dry, so I'm going to squeeze over here in my ink pad just to get some of that water down. Whoa, that was a lot. There we go. All right, now I'm going to do what I just did again. Yeah, the water brushes are awesome. Yeah, Amy, it's fun to do this. I mean, you really, with the smaller tip, you have a lot of control with the water brushes, which is nice. You know, like I said, if you're doing a large area, then the fatter tipped one would probably be the one that you would want. And I'm no expert at coloring. I don't know much about shading, so I kind of just do whatever. I just put color where I think, and I like that. That looks good. So then, if you were, say this was blue sails or different colors, if you want to switch between colors, you just squeeze your tip out and just run it off your surface until it runs clean, and that's how you would switch to colors. So what I'm going to do is I want the there's little strings. I don't know if you guys can see the strings. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. I'm going to bring in my soft suede Stampin' Write marker. I'm going to use the pen tip on it, and I'm going to just trace those little lines. See what you guys are saying over here. Donna, you have them because I told you you needed them. Well, you gotta use them. I tell you, you need stuff, you have to use it. Come on now. So I'm gonna take these lines and I'm gonna trace them now, because when I do the watercoloring of them, of these up here, it's gonna fade those lines right in, and I'm not gonna know where they were. So I'm just drawing over them. It works out better with this finer tip here. And I don't know if you guys, if the camera's picking up these lines. They're very subtle, but you can see them in here. Kinda. There it is. I think there's 5 all total. Yeah. And then I'm going to take, and there's the little line back here for the mast. And then I'm going to take these up here. Oh, man. Right. You don't make a mistake because it's all art. Exactly. So I'm just going to take, and no water, going to get it very concentrated, and then I'm going to go over the mass up here. I find this soothing. I like doing this stuff. I know some people are like, nope, not for me. And then I'm going to go over this here. I want it to be darker. Just want that to stand. Whoops, I went off a little bit. That's okay. And if you can't see it on camera, it does, there is the line. You can see the line when you're actually coloring this and doing it yourself. So that looks good there. So now I'm going to close that up. I'm going to run this clean just because I want the sails here really light. I'm not adding any water. I'm just coloring over this. I really, really like the look of this. And I think if I would have stamped it full strength, it would have been, you know, well, I know it's too much. It's too heavy. I tried different colors. I tried gray, tried blue, but I found the brown seemed to be the best. I tried crumb cake. I didn't like that. Soft suede seemed to be the best. So I'm not squeezing any water out. I'm just using the tip here. Okay, I'm going to squeeze a little out because it's getting a little dry. And I love how once you do the watercoloring, everything just pops. Reminds me of when I was young. Here we go, aging ourselves again. Although they still make them. Those books with the colors had the paint in them, and you got the paintbrush and a cup of water, and you just painted over them with the water. This is exactly the same. So there you go. There's your ship. I'm going to run this clean, and let's see. All right, so nope. So if you're coloring this and your lines get a little faded, so like right here I went over with the water, just go back and touch them up. You want to do your lines first, like I said, because once you color, they're going to fade right in, and then you're not going to know where your lines are. So it's better to do the lines, and then if the water fades them out, you can just go back. Perfect. So now let's bring in, so here's our clouds, which I've already cut out over here. Bring in everything. So what I like to do is I like to stamp that out first and then cut it, because if you cut this out a lot of times and you try to stamp, it always goes crooked. So that is a good tip when you're running dies through. stamp and then cut instead of cut and then stamp. It's a heck of a lot easier to do it that way. So I want to show you guys too. I have this tag. Let me show you what I used. So I used the Stylish Shape dies. You guys all know that these are one of my favorites. Let's see. Oh, they still have them. That's awesome. Oh, you used a Q-tip. Oh, I didn't even think about that one. That's funny. Thank you, Tina. It really, and it didn't take much to make it look like that. I mean, it really didn't. Super easy. So here they are. These are awesome. If you guys don't own them, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need them. So I used this small one right here, as you can see. And then I used this one right here. And you're probably saying, well, how did you use that one? Let me show you. So what you do is you cut out your die. And then I wanted this to just have the little bit of blue on each side. So what I did was I cut the whole thing out. I should have cut one out, but I cut the whole thing out, and then I took, and so here it would be the whole thing right here. Then I just slid this down to wherever I wanted it. Nope, I didn't slide it down. I'm sorry. Because you want this end. I know it's so confusing, but you want this shape, right? So you got to slide the back end to match it. So I don't know if I confused anybody or not, but you got to slide the back end. So here you go. You cut it out. It's big and whole, long, and then you just slide it up to this back end wherever you want it. And just measure with your little die. Is that confusing? I can cut one out if you guys are confused by what I'm saying, because I'm confusing myself. But I know a lot of times when I talk, I confuse myself. So, you know, if you guys want me to. Amy, you need to order those dies, girl. Yeah, so if you guys want me to show you what I'm talking about, let me. Okay, Tina says it makes sense. Then it makes sense and I'm not doing it. So there. Ha. So that's how I did that. And you can manipulate any of your dies in your machine. You could cut your die like a circle. You could do a half circle, just depending on where you put your plates. I'll have to do a video on that one of these days. So we have everything cut out now. Let me put this die back before I lose it. So I have the Pacific Point for my card base. And my bone folder, which I don't know where that is, right here. I'm going to use that to give that a good edge there. So this guy's going to go right on the front. So before I put this down, I'm going to take this. And I'm going to figure out how far do I want it to go. Because you want to have enough room for your clouds. So that looks about good right there. So I'm going to use my liquid glue. I tried cutting it to size, but it didn't work out. So I recommend just cutting it a little bigger, the paper, and then you can trim it. That seems to be the easiest way. That looks about right. Let me just make sure. Yep, that'll work. So you can see there's a bunch hanging off here. So I'm just going to take my paper snips and just trim that. Oh, good. Nobody was confused. I think I confuse myself all the time. So I'm just going to trim that little bottom piece. And now we're going to use our Stampin' Seal. Oh, crud. You guys, I shouldn't have done that. Son of a gun. So, you guys can see I cut off part of the cloud there. So, don't glue this to the front yet. I forgot I did that. So, the clouds are going to come off of the paper. So, I'm just going to snip off part of the cloud. And then part of the cloud here. I guess you could do it this way too. I mean, I did it to where I trimmed it. See, because now it's crooked. I think I made it even more crooked, didn't I? Well, that looks good. All right, so these are going to get glued right down. So I'm using the liquid glue again. I'll put this one up here. And then before I glued, well, I could glue that one on. No, before I glue this one on, there's birds in this set. I love those birds. I'm going to take the Memento ink and grab a block here. And I'm going to stamp these birds right up there in that corner. Kind of angle them a little. Perfect. Now I'm going to glue this other cloud down. This set is really cute. I really like playing with this set. Hey, I know that song. Diane, I love that song. So I'm going to put this here. And then I popped this one up with the dimensionals. Of course, you know me, I like to use lots of dimensionals. They're cheap. They're fairly inexpensive. Fairly inexpensive sounds better than cheap. So then this guy's going to go right here on your waves. Then I'm going to glue this and again I use the liquid glue just so I have time to kind of move it to where I want it positioned. It's perfect. And then this one's going to get popped up too. Let me see if I can find, there they are. So I'm just going to take, I once was talking to somebody who threw the dimensionals out. Once they used all the dimensionals, they never used the edge. I'm like, you could, what is wrong with you? And they didn't even realize. They're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. What? I use every little piece of my dimensional. Then I'm just going to pop this up right here. And then the final, well, there's another thing we're going to do, but I want to add our inside piece in. 5 1/4 by 4 piece. I'm using Very Vanilla. It is a crazy person, right? Like, how do you throw that out? What? That goes on the inside. And then the last little bit I did was I took my Wink of Stella and I added that to the clouds. And what was really neat about it is it filled in those stark white insides to a light blue. of the cloud, and it gives it that super shimmer effect here. I know the camera's probably not picking it up. Excuse me. But it gives it a nice little blended look to that cloud. And then, of course, you've got your little shimmer. And then that's it. So there's the two clouds with the two cards with the two different waves. I actually like this wave better. I don't know what you guys think, but I like how this paper, if you guys see up towards the top, it almost looks like the sun coming out of there, and then you have like the stormy type weather behind it. So this paper is perfect for this. So I hope you guys like that. Let's see. You guys are funny. You guys are cracking me up. Yeah, I don't know which one I like better. I almost think I like that one better, but then that one's kind of cool too. So anyways, let me flip you guys up. I know, we're upside down. Upside down us. So I hope you guys like those cards. That stamp set, like I said, is, I don't think a lot of people are using it and playing with it. Usually when I Google one of the sets I'm going to use, there's a million different designs out there. And I didn't see a lot of stuff out there. I didn't see a lot of cards made with that. And that ship is pretty fun. So you guys get your hands on that one before it goes away. So anyways, you guys are so funny. So you like both of them. Like them both. Number 2 is my favorite. Well, good. So, you guys. So that is my live for this week. I'm not going to do a giveaway this week, but maybe next week I'll do a giveaway. So thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget your celebration items. 7 days. What? 7 days? How did it only get... I hate clowns too, Deb. Sorry, squirrel. I seen clowns and I'm like, yeah, I don't like clowns. How did we get to this point where celebration is almost over with? Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it. So, yes, we all need to go. You guys need to go shopping. Go get this set. I know you guys will love it. And then March 1st, that paper, you'll be able to get that paper unless you join my team. Then I'm just saying you could get it now, 7 days early. But all right, guys, well, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I had a lot of fun crafting with you guys, and I will see you, yes, next Tuesday. You guys have a awesome week, and who can spend the most? You guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. Bye.